Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Monday morning, October. Did I say October? Boy, I wish it was October. It's December 21st, 2020. I'm the man they call Meathead. Yes, I want to go back into 2020 some more and see the Green Goblin voiced by Braun Strowman, as 2020. I want to see that again. I'm the man they call Meathead, and we got a lot of big stuff to talk about. First, let's do sponsors. Our friends at manscaped.com, they want you to know that they are still they've got amazing products. They are still offering discounts, plus our discount when you use the promo code PWR, 20% off. Get yourself silky smooth. Linda, we'll get to you in a second, but I hope you weren't offended by me telling people that you don't want to hug your grandma with hairy balls. And then our friends at collarandelbowbrand.com, once you're smooth and silky smooth and clean shaven and, you've got the ball powder on, you need something to cover yourself out in the winter, get yourself some winter gear from collarandelbowbrand.com. The promo code PWR360. Let's bring Linda in. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. I think you thought it was October because TLC was fire.
That's right.
October,
That pay-per-view was on fire last night.
Absolutely.
I mean, you would think this would make the rivalry between Randy and Bray heat up,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I'm a very superstitious person, actually, and I don't want to start this show without talking about, obviously, the Green Bay Packers winning on Saturday. Let's get that out.
Yes.
Let's talk about Sunday's show. We'll talk about the pay-per-view from last night. Let's talk about the fact that not only that, I'd like to bring in the fact that the man they call Meathead in his money fantasy league will be going to the championships next week for a lot of scratch. So again, we got to talk about that. But let's talk before the pre-show. We tweeted out at PWR360 on Twitter, on the Twitter machine. Linda made a move. Linda, tell the people what you did.
Well, I've been pondering a trade in our PWR fantasy draft. I had Brody Lee on the team.
Mr. Brody Lee,
excuse me, the leader, the Dark Order. He's been injured and out. So, we're winding down. We're about to get on the road to WrestleMania, and I had to think, okay, how many pay-per-views are left with AEW? How many pay-per-views remaining with WWE? And I had to think about it, like, okay, who can I choose right now? Who can I put in to replace Mr. Brody Lee? And I decided to trade it up for Big E.
Your boy, Big E.
Yes, I found a way to bring the New Day back together, and that was via Team Long Time.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go into the pre-show. Big E was on the pre-show, and he had a match. He was in an 8-man tag with Otis and a couple of other guys. And on the other side, Sami Zayn, host of the Sammys, which we saw on SmackDown Friday night.
That was
Big E and team get the win. So those are some pre-show points for you.
Absolutely. That made me very happy. Got some early points in the pay-per-view last night, and made me excited that I did make a great choice as far as my change right before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and this isn't a spoiler by any means, but later on in the big pay-per-view show, Big E showed up again, getting more appearance points for you. Also in this match was Otis, appearance points, King Corbin, appearance points, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura, along with Sami Zayn and Chad Gable and Daniel Bryan were in this match as well. Nobody else had those guys, but appearance points is for Corbin, Otis, and Big E. All right. So the team of Big E, Daniel Bryan, Otis, and Chad Gable defeating Sami Zayn, King Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Solid match to open it up. I think it was a nice little appetizer. It was a nice set of breadsticks or a salad or a soup, whatever you like before you get your main course going. Now let's talk the big show. And they opened up WWE's TLC with a big one. Drew McIntyre was going to defend against AJ Styles in a tables, ladders, and chairs triple threat match. Wait, did I say triple threat? Yes, that's right. I said triple threat because a Money in the Bank cash-in happened during this match, and The Miz inserted himself into this match. Linda, before we get to the winner and the finish of this match, what were your thoughts of, one, how the match was going, two, Miz jumping in the middle of the match and cashing in?
Well, I thought the match started off tremendous. I thought there were a lot of unique uses of the tables, ladders, and chairs. I mean, we got that chop block by AJ Styles working on that knee on Drew McIntyre, and the calf crusher through the ladder. I'm getting very impressed at the different utilizations, if you will, of objects in these
Yeah.
matches. Um, but yeah, so I thought the match was going great. I had a little feeling that Miz would, as you said, insert himself into the match. He made that
Inserting
appearance.
himself.
Yes. He did make that appearance during the pre-show, and just the way things have been leading up between him and AJ Styles. I didn't foresee Miz cashing in the briefcase against Roman Reigns if it was to take place last night, which he obviously did cash it in. I saw it going to take place with it was against Drew McIntyre, and we did see that in the match.
Yeah.
I was excited when he came out with it. I wasn't sure if it was going to be cash in all the way, as we know it's been teased a little bit. But once it happened, I thought one thing that did not have a good feeling in my belly, and that was Omos. How could they forget about Omos possibly hurting the chances of a successful cash-in, which we saw. He, grabbed Miz. He did put him to the table, right? I think it outside the ring. Yeah. So
He
obviously
carried him like a baby.
Yes, right. He did. That's right. We got that first, and then putting Miz to the table, and then once Morrison and Omos ran off backstage, I figured that'd be the end of that. But then, we got announced as a triple threat match. I was excited. However, I didn't I didn't foresee it happening. And once I saw Miz roll out after that Claymore, I knew that my boy was not going to have a successful cash in. But all in all, I mean, the exciting exchanges in the end, again, the unique ways that they used the tables, ladders, and chairs, I thought it was tremendous.
Sure. I loved it. I thought it was a great, solid match. I didn't think there was any doubt that Drew McIntyre was going to pull through and defend and retain this belt. And once they cleared out Miz and Omos, not Miz, John Morrison and Omos, then you knew it was going to be the triple threat. There was teases to the left, teases to the right, teases on the front, teases in the back. But at the end of the day, and by the way, this is a bone I've been wanting to pick for a while, and I picked it when they gave it to Leon Ruff over on NXT. When was the last time we had a belt that actually had buckles? They're all Velcro now. Ugh. What man wears a big belt with Velcro around his waist? What happened to the snaps, to the buckles?
I mean, the amount of times the belts change, maybe Velcro's the way to go.
I guess. I mean, because there's nothing more manly than pulling your Velcro apart. The winner of the match and still champion, Drew McIntyre, adding more points to the team they call Meatheads, still leading in the PWR draft. Let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship. It was Sasha Banks defeating Carmella. Carmella came to fight last night. She came to fight at the pay-per-view, and unfortunately, she submitted center ring. Per Dave Hero on the old Twitter machine, he believes this promo should be over. I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to have more Carmella and Sasha Banks. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a really stellar match, and I too would actually like to see some more between Sasha and Carmella. They definitely delivered. Great back and forth action. I envisioned Sasha, retaining the title, which she did. But one bone I had one to pick with as well last night, was the sommelier, Reginald Thomas, interfering in that match, but the ref didn't call a disqualification. It wasn't a no DQ match, so that was a little puzzling. But he got his bump, if you will, outside the ring with Sasha, and Carmella obviously tapping out in the end. But they had a lot of back and forth with their
commentary called that out too. Says I'm not quite sure why they're not saying anything about him interfering in the match.
Yes, so that was a little fishy, but the one thing I noted was the finishers, the back and forth. You got a lot of false finishes, which gave into a lot of action and excitement to the match. But it's like, what gives? What will it take? And we found out it was via the bank statement.
Center of the ring, tapping out. Yeah, again, that sommelier. I feel like he does more than just pour wine and tell you about the vineyard or the vintner. I think he might be doing something else, because there's no way he can perform like that just doing wine.
Absolutely. Quite a talented man.
Sad news for Linda Kay in the PWR draft. Her boys, the New Day. have been defeated by the Hurt Business to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. The Hurt Business has 3 belts out of the 4, 3 champions out of those 4 gentlemen. Wow. The Hurt Business of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. Linda.
Well, before the match, Xavier Woods said that we were going to get a big match, New Day.
Yeah.
Which we did, it's against, sorry, I still chuckle at when Kofi says the butt hurt business.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm a child. I love it.
Mm-hmm. It was a great match, but, we've gotten this match a lot out of recent weeks, and New Day winning every time. I mean, there were some funky finishes, kabuki-ish, in the words of Dave Hero, finishes leading up, but I kind of had a feeling if there were these many matches.
Were you ever hooked on a feeling?
Yes. But
I interrupted you. I'm sorry. That's all I could hear when you said I had a feeling. Like, I'm hooked on a feeling. I gotta believe that the Hurt Business is the champs. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like this should end the feud between both teams, but unfortunately for me, I have the New Day on Team Long Time, but that's okay. The New Day always comes back with that power of positivity. So I still see good things happening for the two of them. But I will say, I was noticing the faces of, or the face, I guess, of Shelton Benjamin after Cedric Alexander tagged himself in and got the win. Kind of to, I don't know if you saw it from last week on Raw, where he inserted himself into that match on Raw.
Inserted himself.
Yes. And Bobby Lashley's face, they had that close up on it, like kind of like a puzzled, bewildered face. So the same thing happened last night. So I think that's
that's an ongoing thread, and we're going to see it. We're going to see it play out here.
Absolutely. But great match, great sequences, but we got our new champs, but unfortunately it wasn't the New Day.
Yeah. Sticking with Raw, the Raw Women's Champion, Asuka, had to find a new partner to take on these women's tag team champions of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. There were some predictions thrown out by yourself, more by myself, excuse me. I thought Ronda Rousey might make a surprise appearance. On Friday morning show on PWR Today, you guys listen to us Monday through Friday, you heard Matthew Damas. That's right. I didn't say Thomas. I said Damas, as in the predictor of predictors, said Charlotte Flair would be Asuka's tag team partner. And bam, Charlotte Flair is back. She's back from surgery, back from injury, back from everything. And she's come back to become the new Raw and Women's Tag Team Champion. Your thoughts on Charlotte and the victory?
Wow. I think most of us were expecting Charlotte to make her big return at the Rumble, but given Lana's injury and rumors of who would be Asuka's partner, I think Charlotte was the perfect choice. They obviously have their history together, work well together. They were believable to beat the strong powerhouse team of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And they got the victory at the end. So that, once they saw it was Charlotte, here's where I had a feeling again that they would win. So it was just it was just a unique twist, because going into TLC, did not expect that at all. And then we have new champions, a new tag team. It's not currently Asuka 2 belts, those straps, or 2 in Japanese. It's knee. Okay. So we got to think of Asuka something that rhymes with that, with belts. I'll have to think of something.
Linda, would you tell us, and again, I'm failing you right now, but what is it in your language? What is 2?
Song?
Okay.
Yes. So maybe I'll think of something in Lao, or maybe I'll think of something in Japanese.
There you
go. Something. To be continued. I'll get back to you on that.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm absolutely just blown away, because that means the man they call Meathead just won a title. That's, again, the rich keep getting richer, my friends. I'm so sorry. I feel like that I'm going to have to, in the next draft, when we draft in April, I think it is, after WrestleMania, I'm going to have to give a handicap. I mean, it's just not fair to the other competitors. I apologize to you, Linda. I apologize to Dave, Damian. I would apologize to Drew, but because he has Charlotte, I don't have to apologize because now we're tag team partners and we're tag team champions. But I apologize to the other competitors in this draft. It's just not fair. And you guys, I feel bad for you. I really do.
Well, this is my inaugural season, so
it is.
Bear with me. I will.
Unofficially, it's mine too, because the year that I won, because I have won the PWR draft, I joined the last day. I literally signed up the last day and won the draft that day.
Okay.
We have it on tape. Ask Cal Hero. Universal Champion Roman Reigns, one-on-one with Kevin Owens in a TLC match as well for the Universal Championship. I'm going to use Dave Hero's words again from the Twitter machine and from PWR 360 on Twitter. That match did more for Kevin Owens than it did for Roman. It showed a chink in the armor, and it put over Kevin Owens as a top-level main event guy again. And that's just what we need. While I have Kevin Owens, I didn't believe he was going to win the match. He looked amazing. He looked believable. And starting off by attacking Roman at the beginning of the match was absolutely what he needed. He looks legit to me. I mean, I'm not going to try to oversell this and, have this hubris about it, but it made me think of Stone Cold Steve Austin. That guy that at first you didn't believe, but this could be the catalyst to get Kevin up to the top of the card.
Like that turn from Survivor Series with him and Bret Hart?
Yes, exactly.
I got you. Yeah, everything you just said, the key word about Kevin Owens being a main event contender again was, I just said it, the key word was again. We've had him be a main eventer in pay-per-views.
He was picked by the Authority to be the champion.
Yeah, exactly. So we got that again last night, and that was great to see because this year, obviously it's been a strange year for everybody and for everything, but Kevin Owens was used in a lot of different ways, some good, some bad. He was on all the shows and just was more
he was the cheerleader for Apollo Crews for a while.
Yes.
Remember that?
That little bit with Aleister Black as well was a little odd. They focused a lot on the KO show, which was cool. Obviously, that's a great thing as well. But, when we got to see that Kevin Owens was going to be Roman Reigns' latest contender for the title, I think a lot of us were kind of like, okay. I mean, not speaking for everybody else, but I just myself and some of my colleagues were like, okay, he's not going to win it, but we should still get a good brutal match. Well, we got a tremendous brutal match just from start to finish. Gosh, all those bumps and the mess, the chaos, like that match.
Controlled chaos is exactly a great word.
Yeah, that match definitely defined what TLC should be. Great match between the guys. The barricade bump with Roman, that was something different. That really, like, a lot. I said, wow, ton of times during that match. But we got some first, the low blow on the ladder. I don't know if that was done in previous title matches, but I was like, okay,
that it was done by Roman. So the good news is that's a Roman thing. It's it was legal in the match last night, but it was a low blow that he's done in other matches. I mean, he's headbutted people. I mean, he's, it's Roman's thing right now. So right when it looks like the other guy finally has a chance, low blow for him to win, even though he looks amazing still. Like I said, it's, this made Kevin Owens look real good.
Yeah. I mean, I loved how Jey Uso just kept popping out of nowhere, helping Roman out. I mean, and that combined with Paul Heyman's facials and just
Paul Heyman's facials. I mean, I hate to say Paul Heyman facial because it's but I mean his facial expressions. Paul Heyman makes that match. He does such a great job. The art of the manager or valet is a lost art, and Paul Heyman is probably the last of a dying breed. But Paul Heyman's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then we got, another person, guillotine on the top of the ladder. And, Kevin Owens did say he was going to get that title or he was going to die trying. He didn't quite die, like perhaps in the final match we saw someone maybe die. But,
see what I did there?
Yes. But, great finish, great match. Would love to see the two of them again sometime in the future.
Yeah, let's talk main event. And this is funny that I say that this is the main event. I'm telling you, after Reigns and Owens, I felt like I had just finished my meal. I felt good. I felt, all right, cool. At the end of the concert, good night, we love you, Milwaukee. And they walk off. Okay, cool. Looking for my coat, making sure that I'm not getting in a fight on the way out. Oh, wait, we're going to get an encore? Cool, I'm back. That's literally what I thought the pay-per-view was over. I forgot about the match because of the way the commercials that they played during the two matches. I know they needed more time to set up what they were setting up now, but I didn't know it at that second. The main event, Randy Orton versus The Fiend in a Firefly Inferno match. Folks, did you see the setup around the ring? I don't think they pull this off anywhere else except for a Thunderdome. And what they did, WWE, is they made this match unique because of what they can do in the Thunderdome. I love the fire setup. There's so many things that it just was different. Linda, did you notice, however, the color of the flames?
That they were really light?
Like really yellow.
Yes, I did.
I'm okay with it, but it's a flame. Obviously, it's hot, but I think it was the safest flame they could do. It didn't look like real flames to me, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Many times when a big spot happened, the flames jumped in the air. I didn't like when it did it for Orton. I thought it should have only been The Fiend every time he got a great spot because he's the one that lit the place on fire, right?
Yeah,
I didn't like that Orton, when he would hit a big move, that the flames jumped up in the air. I think that should have been saved just for The Fiend. Before we get to what happened at the end, overall, what did you think of the match?
Oh, it was fire itself. It was hot. A lot of heat.
I mean, they brought the smoke.
Yes, I was trying to keep going, so thank you for.
I had one more left. And
yeah,
Profits were on last night, so I had that one left.
Gosh, it was great. I was hoping one thing, an appearance by Alexa Bliss, which didn't happen.
You were hoping for points, and I
long time. Yeah, I also love Alexa Bliss, but outside of that, I was hoping for an appearance by Disco Inferno because we got the fire match.
Disco Fever. Oh my God, I would.
You're doing the dance too now.
I would have popped hard. I think I would have right there. I would have started dancing like a dancing fool. See what I did there?
I was doing it right now.
Wow. No, Dancing Fool. That was the name of the tag team between him and Alex Wright.
Alex Wright. That's one. What was it?
That's Wonderkind.
Thank you. Doing the Alex Wright dance right now too. Okay, I digress. I do agree with the fire shooting up. Now that you said it, it should have been saved just for The Fiend because he started the fire,
right.
And
Billy Joel had told everybody he didn't start the fire, so luckily it was The Fiend.
Exactly. But I liked the uses of the gasoline. There were a lot of close calls for both men. Perhaps one of them was going to get lit on fire. And
the rocking chair came into play.
The use of the weapons, the strap.
The strap that was lit up. Yeah, I thought that was very creative.
Absolutely. And the way they got closer to the fire toward the end. So you like horror movies as well. You seen The Lost Boys, right?
Oh, The Lost Boys. See, I don't watch horror movies anymore. I don't watch today's. I don't want to sound like an old man, but I do know The Lost Boys. Yes.
Yeah, 1987. My favorite movie. Fun fact. There was a part. This isn't spoiling anything for anybody, but there was a time where you thought somebody was going to go through these antlers, but then at the very last second they got turned around and it was the other person. That kind of made me think of what happened before The Fiend got lit, because it looked like Randy was going to touch that fire.
Yeah, and then they spun around. Yeah, and that was in The Lost Boys. That was Bill S. Preston, Esquire, I believe. Alex Winter, the actor.
Oh, that was a different spot he had in in the movie. But anywho, But then we got a Fiend pushed into the fire. He was on fire. Okay, Randy won the match, but it was kind of odd because there was no, bell rung because everybody was away from ringside.
Well, I mean, they pulled the commentators away, and I didn't notice until they had their spots with the rocking chair and the strap. I'm like, the ring looks different. Oh, they pulled the commentators out because they're going to have the whole thing. Okay. I didn't understand it at first, but it absolutely made sense. Great. Pull them off. They probably had a remote location backstage or somewhere. Okay. It works for me. I mean, it absolutely works. They might have been at the pre-show, stage over there, at the desk over there. Who knows?
Yeah. So then the Fiend gets in the ring with Randy, and he was still standing until Randy hit his RKO, and then
Well, he was still on fire. He hit an on fire RKO.
Yeah, that too.
Which is pretty cool. Now,
yeah,
what happened afterwards? Again, I believe this is the magic of the Thunderdome, and nowhere else could this have worked. And I think it worked here last night. Randy Orton goes out and gets a can of gasoline. I keep thinking Caesar every time I keep saying that, but he gets the gasoline and pours it all over the Fiend. They're both wearing their jackets the whole night. I noticed that Randy's jacket ripped a little bit over the left shoulder, but the Fiend is still wearing his leather jacket. I got to assume that it's doused with some, fire retardant stuff, which again, we love the show, but we also think about the boys and we think about the safety of the performers. So I'm loving that they're probably doing something, because we just watched The Undertaker with Stone Cold talking about how he got burned up in his leather jacket.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they really going to light him? Are they really going to light him? I'm willing to bet they put something out there and they paused the show at some point and rolled something else out there because that Fiend didn't move the whole time Randy was there. Never moved. I'm like, I hope for the safety of everybody involved, that's not the Fiend there anymore. And it's just something that looks like the Fiend. Go ahead and light it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, before Randy lit or dropped the match, I thought that's where we might have gotten an appearance by Alexa Bliss or someone. I didn't think, honestly, wasn't sure if it was going to happen. But then, like you said, that body or the thing that was there was not moving. And you got to believe, obviously, that was not actually Bray. But it led to such an amazing close to the show that I had to watch it over and over just because I was so in awe about it.
Yeah.
Gosh, it was
Dave
great. And then Randy
something out on Twitter. Did you see Dave's Twitter feed last night? He says they must have pre-taped that segment because all the fans around in the Thunderdome on the whatever they're calling those Trons are all looking down, like they know they're not on camera.
Yeah, I was looking for a reaction too at some points. I think at the very end I was so engulfed.
One more.
Honestly,
that was like you were in your fifth at bat in the ninth inning, and they just got tired and threw you a fastball right over the wall.
But yes, I was so engulfed into that finish that I didn't look at the screens anymore. But I was looking prior to, because kind of like how Raw ended last week.
Yeah,
there was some type of changeover, and like you said, the beauty of the Thunderdome, they're able to make that happen.
I think we got our first actual drone camera usage. I know that we've been promised drones in these Thunderdomes, and I've complained over and over, where's my drones? I feel like we got our first real drone shots when AJ and Drew or Miz, I forget who it was, were up on top of the ladders. I got a nice rotating camera shot, almost like in their faces, but 10 feet back. I'm like, that's probably one of their drones moving around. All right, that looks good. I've been promised drones, and when I say drones, I keep thinking of Vanguard 1. So, that's the kind of drone I want.
Same.
Wow, what a big night we had last night. Now, PWR draft-wise, I can't give you official totals because as we're going through this, I'm going to have to do a recount. Excuse me, the accounting firm Dewey Chudeman Howe will have to do a recount and go through and make sure that there's more appearance points. I think I heard Linda Kay say the Miss showed up on the pre-show. That wasn't counted in. And I think I forgot to mention that Linda lost 25 points when she dropped Brody Lee. That wasn't mentioned either. So we'll have to do a recount, and we'll get those totals out to you guys some point during the day today, and we'll get that all set up for you. Linda, we've talked a lot. Now, I can promise that we will have some there's one more for you, hot wrestling action tomorrow morning right here on PWR Today with a very hot, I had an encore there, Linda Kay again. Linda joining us Tuesday morning. So for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Hey, thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.